It's time for Baby Boomers in Action. Here's your host, Jim McWhorter.
All right, we're here, Baby Boomers in Action. I'm Jim McWhorter, your host, and I am so glad you joined us again today. Obviously, we are still here at the Oak Hills Care Center. We're in the freshly renovated memory care wing that my friend Brad Underwood, owner of Oak Hills, has put together, and we showed you so many things last week, but there's just still more to see. And so we couldn't get it all in one show. Right now, we are going to talk more about this phenomenal facility.
Isn't that cute? Jim thought I was running to him. Nope, I'm in a hurry to visit with my friends at Wellington Park.
Stay active, stay healthy, stay happy. Join us at Wellington Park.
Memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's, diseases that can attack our brains. If you have a loved one struggling with memory challenges like this, come to Oak Hills Care Center. Brad Underwood and his caring staff have developed one of the most innovative memory care homes you will find anywhere. Living here, those you love will access relaxing and mind-challenging features every day. Innovative, caring, solid as an oak. Oak Hills Care Center.
Okay, here with Brad Underwood. We're back in the Oak Hills Care Center memory care wing, and right now we're sitting in, I call it the visual library, because
it's a good name for it.
Well, but this has impressed me since we were here last week, because this is actually the doors that you enter and exit in from this wing, and they covered them to make them look like the library. Right. And this is just another one of those fine features that you all have done here. You've got a lamp over here on the wall. There's wallpaper and a picture looking, and it just looks like a real library that you're in. But it's so important for your residents to be able to walk up, look at the books and all, reminisce about libraries.
It is. A lot of our residents, when they have memory care issues, do tend to wander. And we have to do things to keep them safe.
Right.
And regular doors, just like our doors on the wall, it's like, oh, this means I can go in and out. And so what we wanted to do here was provide something that was visually appealing, but also doesn't draw attention to it being a door.
Right.
And so we want it like a library. So who doesn't like to go to the library and look at different books and bookshelf and things like that? So that was the whole idea of putting that on those doors.
I got you. And last week we did the first edition, and now today we're doing the second
edition.
And we're
right,
here. That's why it's
library.
appropriate to start here. And so, you know, and it's like, yeah, I hope you're catching this, because what you are doing is, it's kind of a distraction, but it's all about safety.
That's right.
And it's all about safety for your loved ones at Oak Hills. And so, Brad, I want to go back. I like to, when I have conversations with people, I did this with our governor and with Representative Bice and all. I like to let our viewers know a little bit about you. Who is Brad Underwood? So tell us what you'll share with us about your life and about Oak Hills and how you acquired it and all.
Okay. How long do we have on this segment?
We've got, now, our viewers, some of them watch at midnight. We have a huge viewing audience at midnight, so they'll probably want to go to bed by 3 a.m.
Exactly. Okay,
All
well,
right.
I can tell you a little bit about it. You know, honestly, I love what I do. I think I have one of the most rewarding jobs. As a kid, I spent a lot of time with my paternal grandmother. And the love and the care that she showed for us, I think it's almost like I get to have a lot of grandparents now. You would be surprised, being in this industry, how that you really do begin to care and love the different residents.
That's right.
And it's not easy sometimes when you lose them.
That's
you know,
right.
and it's tough. It's almost like an emotional thing that happens. But to me, I use it as motivation to do more every day and to try to get us a little better every day, whether it be our quality of care, whether it be our quality of life that we can provide, safetiness for our residents, whatever we can do to make their days that they spend in our facility the best they can be.
Right.
And if that's something that we can do to engage them through our meal programs, through our air purification system, through visually, disclosing our doors and that kind of stuff. Whatever that looks like, that's what I want to do. That's my mission. Sure. We in our organization, our company, we have a mission statement that basically says we're going to take whoever it is and bring them up to the next level a little bit better than when we found them. Right. And we do that with our residents. Yes. They want to come here and maybe they have a wound that's out of control. Maybe they're not getting all their medications that they need on a daily basis. Maybe they're not able to bathe and shower for themselves anymore. Right. So we try to look at it from a standpoint of we're going to do that. We're going to help you. We're going to put you in that next level better of care than where you were before.
That's great, and it's very obvious you're passionate about this, and I want our viewers to feel that passion, and it's extended through what you've done here. You've made a major investment on your air purification system like we talked about last week, and even this wing for people struggling with dementia and Alzheimer's, what we call the memory care wing.
Right.
And tell us a little bit more about it. We're going to show some more features in here, but tell us more about, how many beds in this freshly renovated wing with all the different suites.
So total, we have a population of 32 residents on this hall.
Okay.
This is where we really put our top-notch, first-class nursing staff as well.
Gotcha.
We understand that residents over here a lot of times don't have as many nursing needs, but they have a lot of care needs.
Right.
They need things to cue them on. Remember that we're doing bath day to day. Remember that our meals are coming at this certain time. They need that extra time, that extra care, that extra compassion that we can provide here. So yes, we've got 32 residents. We overstaff this particular area of the home just because those residents need additional care.
Yeah, and that's very evident because we started our tour last week in the main living area and dining area and all of this, and we can see it from sitting here. Our cameras don't show it all, but we're going to show you some more of these features and all as we come back.
Memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's, diseases that can attack our brains. If you have a loved one struggling with memory challenges like this, come to Oak Hills Care Center. Brad Underwood and his caring staff have developed one of the most innovative memory care homes you will find anywhere. Living here, those you love will access relaxing and mind-challenging features every day. Innovative, caring, solid as an oak. Oak Hills Care Center.
Okay, Brad, in your memory care wing where we are and that we're focused on right now, you how many beds did you say we have here?
So there's 32 in this particular wing.
Okay, and that's just this wing because this is really a very large community.
It is.
So tell us about the rest of the community that we're not actually filming, but just so our viewers understand and can comprehend the magnitude of what you have here.
So Oak Hills is a large facility. It's 150 beds. 32 are dedicated for memory care, but we also specialize in wound care, skilled nursing. We also do behavior management in this particular facility. And so we kind of really have a broad perspective of what we have as far as our residents here at their home.
Right. And so what about care differences? Are there any care differences that, obviously you focus on dementia and Alzheimer's in this wing. What about the rest of the community?
So yeah, I think, for us, one thing that we really strive is the care of nursing that we provide. We're all electronic EMR, and so all of our medical records and everything are electronic. We use a specific program where we can track our residents' bathing, their medications, their orders, every visit that they've seen. And so therefore, when a family member has questions, we have a dedicated social services person that can say, look, yeah, your mom was seen yesterday, and this is kind of what we were seeing, and this is the progress that she's making. And that's just good nursing care. But you would be surprised how many facilities are still on paper. We have went electronic fully about 2 years ago in this particular facility. It just helps us manage things a lot better and have better quality of care for our residents.
Absolutely, and I can tell you, because I am in different communities and all, but one of the things I notice is your staff. You seem to have a great nursing staff and your administrator and different people, and it just it's top notch, and I think that's important for our viewers to recognize and understand when they're considering a community for their loved ones.
Absolutely, and we've put a lot of time and training back into our staff. One of the things that we've kind of set out, we talked about a little bit, investing in our residents. We also invest a ton of money into our staff.
Right.
We want to make sure that they've got the skills necessary to really meet the challenge of some of our residents. And so we do ongoing training. One of the things that we do in all of our nursing homes across the board is an inspection control system. It's all about infection control for us, and we survey our homes every single week. There's a team that walks into our home. Now, they're a part of our corporate office, but they walk in our homes every single week, and they spend 8 hours going through every aspect of the home, from the kitchen to the commodes, is what we say a lot of times, making sure, is it clean? Is it up to the quality of level that we expect it to be? And if it's not, that administrator has 48 hours to correct it, and we do another revisit to make sure that it's top care and quality.
That's great. So you really don't have to rely on the health department or anybody else for quality control. You have your own inside quality control.
Absolutely. By the time if the health department were to notate it, I would hope that we have already fixed it and addressed it and taken care of it. That's at least our goal. You're talking about a community where 90, 100 people live. There's always something going on. And so for us, we feel like we want to be ahead of that. We want to be monitoring that on a weekly, daily, hourly basis so that we make sure that we're giving our residents the best quality care possible.
Right. And it's what I mentioned earlier, I just noticed just walking through the building and to get to this wing and everything, you seem to be very well staffed, and a lot of people struggle with that.
You do.
Because of their administration, their nursing, whatever it is that's challenging them, that they haven't quite got the passion you do and haven't got quite the grip on it. And so this is Oak Hills, this is a wonderful community. And
thank you.
And so now, right now, I can't say post-COVID because it's still here, and, still around.
Sure.
But how do you do about visitation right now?
So it's always been a challenge. Ever since the pandemic hit, I think we didn't know what we didn't know.
Right.
And so we actually shut down about 6 weeks prior to the mandatory shutdown.
Okay.
There was just something, I can't explain it. I went home for a weekend and I just, you can call it a lot, intuition, a business gut, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. But there was a gut that just said, you need to close those doors. And we did. And we went almost 11 months before we had our first case of COVID in this particular facility. And when we had our outbreak, like most facilities have had, we actually we lost very few residents due to it. We were prepared. And so visitation has been a challenging thing for all nursing facilities. We're trying to do the very best that we can. We know that our loved ones want to see their family members, but we want to do it in a safe way. So we've actually built specific visitation rooms that the general public can enter from the outside. We bring the resident from the facility to another side with plexiglass to protect them. And at the same time, after that person leaves, we go through, we hydrostatic spray the entire room, we wipe it down, we disinfect it, we clean it, so it's ready for the next visitor. We've actually done a few visitations along the way, end of life kind of circumstances, just because that's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
We believe that our families should be able to interact with our residents in an end of life situation. So we've done a few of those as well, but we're trying to do everything we can just to protect our residents and protect the family as well. So.
Well, and it's very impressive that you're willing to make the investment in things, just like, I'm still amazed at the air purification system and how great everything feels and smells, and the cleanliness of the community and all is so good. And it's nice that you're willing to invest in your visitation rooms and the plexiglass walls and all. I think you're the only other person I know that has made that investment. Now, I don't know about every single place out there, but I know that you're the first one I ran into besides what I've done too. And so
I think you and I agree. It's important. I mean, we talk about all the interactivity on a memory care unit, and that's hugely important, but also there has to be that connection with the family. And we've done things like iPads and electronic kind of FaceTime calls and that sort of stuff, and that helps, but there's something about being able to see your mom face to face, eye to eye, and just to get that reassurance to know, what, she looks good. She looks great, she's being well taken care of, and that's the whole purpose of that. And I want to, we've opened that up, and we've had a lot of families coming in and out now. It's good to see them again too. I mean, we see a lot of these, we haven't seen some of these families in a year, and so we're happy to see see them again. And it's better just to be able to update them, you know, face to face and go, hey, mom's doing great. She's actually really doing well. And, you know, and so we want to try to take advantage of every time that we can get, you know, in front of those family members.
And that is so important. And as I said, you know, you and I are very similar because we don't have to go to a Wall Street board of directors to say we want to make some visitation areas for our residents and their loved ones, and
that's been important during the pandemic. You know,
absolutely.
I always say there are tugboats and there's the Titanic. It takes a whole lot to turn the Titanic around, but we're a small little tugboat. If we see a change, we can make a change on a dime and we go the other direction. And that's what we've had to do during the pandemic. You know, whether it be the use of PPE that we did, you know, the isolation rooms that we had to create when we had possible exposures and that sort of thing. Dallas has become a very tricky thing for us. You know, how do you get a resident to Dallas 3 days a week and yet be exposed in that area and yet not expose your entire community? You know, so we had to find creative ways to work around all those things. But I think, Jim, in the end, we're better for it. Not the pandemic, but I'm just saying I believe as an industry whole, we've become a lot more cognizant of infection control. And we've been able to protect and keep our residents safe during this, and I think, you know, that's one of the main goals they want us to do, is keep their mom and dad safe.
It is, and the other thing that we don't want our viewers to miss is the fact that, yes, we hope this never happens again, but we are all better prepared for it. If and when that horrible thing could happen again.
That's right.
And so, and we can chop it off immediately, just like you did, and make things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's investments in infrastructure.
That's right.
You know, like the Pure Air, you know, the Pure Air system that we have. That's going to be around years to go. I can pull it up on my phone. It tells me the air quality of our facility right now. We can look at it and see exactly how many times that air is exchanging every hour. We have the full monitoring system, so it's not like, well, we thought it was working. We know on a daily basis if something were to go down, if a HEPA filter needs to be cleaned, if a unit's struggling, if it's something going on mechanically, it's struggling, we're going to know with an alert that day to get it fixed and prepared to work properly. So that's a big thing. I mean, you can't put a price on clean air.
No, you can't. You can't. And you absolutely breathe easier in here.
You do.
Or I do.
I do too as well.
I struggle with allergies and all, and it's a nightmare outside right now with springtime and all the blooming things. But in here, it's refreshing.
You know, when you say that, Jim, that's another point that I forgot to mention. So we're on 5.5 acres here at this particular community, and with that we have tons of trees, dogwood trees, oak trees, and they're all blooming right now. You know, I'd have to go back and look at the data, but you'd be surprised. We do not have a lot of the cold and allergy symptoms that we traditionally see with our residents during this time. They're getting outside, they're getting fresh air, but it seems like they don't have the allergies and the stuffy nose and that kind of thing that people struggle with this time of year. It could be because of our air purification system, I'm not sure, but at the same time we have not seen the amount of colds and sniffles this particular spring season like we have in prior years.
Well, that's common sense to me. You know, be outside, enjoy that, but come back here and have fresh air again and get re-purified and not have to struggle with all of those things that you just mentioned.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So we will be back.
Memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's, diseases that can attack our brains. If you have a loved one struggling with memory challenges like this, come to Oak Hills Care Center. Brad Underwood and his caring staff have developed one of the most innovative memory care homes you will find anywhere. Living here, those you love will access relaxing and mind-challenging features every day. Innovative, caring, solid as an oak. Oak Hills Care Center.
Okay, so Brad, we're talking about a lot about Oak Hills, and it's because it's so fantastic.
Thank you.
So I know that you have other communities. Tell us a little bit about your other communities. This is your first memory care wing that you have invested in to this degree. Have you done this in any of your other communities?
So we've not. We've not done that yet. We have two other homes as far as our family of companies. Skyview Nursing Center. It's an African-American community-based home in Oklahoma City. We love that home. It's a smaller home. It's only got 45 beds. very family. It's odd because in that particular home, people really feel like family because it's just smaller. It's a great place. Our newest facility is Edmond Nursing Center, and so that's a little bit further away from Jones, but it's a great facility. It's 110 beds at that facility. It's newer, and we are actually going to be doing something very similar to this. I don't want to give it away, Jim, because it's going to have a different theme to it. But that's already in the making, the planning. We're going to have a memory care unit there, and you know, I think you learn every time you do something.
Sure.
There was no guidebook, there's no instruction manual when we started to assemble this. And so we've learned a ton. The team has done a phenomenal job about what if we did it this way, and so when we do it at Edmond, it's going to be even. It's going to even be better. So I can't wait for it.
I guess so. But so basically, with the other two communities you're describing, this is the largest, the most beds.
This is the largest facility. Yes, it is.
So, do you have any other special plans for Oak Hills? You were describing some things when we first came into the building.
Yeah, so we have all brand new nurses stations. We've completely redone our nurses stations. We have our visitation room. We have our visitor welcoming area as well. One of the things that we've gone through, we're doing all new lighting throughout the facility. We've done paint throughout the facility, and we're doing floor. And so we just feel like we want to try to make this a premier community for Oklahoma City and the metro area. And it takes time, it takes money, it just takes investment. And that's what we're really doing. The building itself is 52 years old, but when we're done with it, it'll look more updated than a brand new facility.
52 years old. I think that's how old I am. I can't remember.
You can't remember, that's okay.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right?
Anyway, yes, and I want people to understand that too, because this, even though it is an older building, this looks so brand new.
It's amazing what lighting and flooring and paint and what we're really trying to do is go after the good structural bones it has. You know, the old saying, they don't make things like they used to. It's very true, especially in construction. This building has some great bones. And so we're just adding some things on it just to make it feel more home-like and enjoy for quality of life for our residents.
Sure. And it even makes it that much more comfortable as we get more and more into visitation for family members to come and visit and see their loved ones.
Absolutely. I can't wait till we have the days again where, you know, family member would come in and they would have a meal with their loved one. We love those. And when that would happen, our kitchen staff, we have a really good food program here, number one. We're in the process of creating a brand new ice cream station for our residents and frozen yogurt. So those machines are actually coming in the summertime, just in time for the warm weather, but they'll have around the clock demand ice cream and frozen yogurt. And so just the ability to come in and share an ice cream cone with your loved one, we can't wait till we get back to those days. But I think we're going to get there.
Oh yeah, you will. And I wish you hadn't mentioned that, because I was ready to go, okay, now where's that ice cream machine?
We can get you something out of the kitchen, I'm sure.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your food program.
So one thing that we do, we put a significant amount of our monthly budget towards our food program.
Okay.
In any type of skilled nursing community like we have here, mealtime becomes a major event.
Sure.
And especially prior to COVID, we would do everything that we could to make it that way. We offer, you know, of course, a standardized nutritional value meal, but we also have a lot of on-the-fly stuff. You know, if you want a different type of soup, a sandwich, a hamburger, a cheeseburger, a corny dog, a hot dog, you know, things that you're just craving. You know, just because you're in a community like this doesn't mean you shouldn't have choices and options. And so at any given day, we would have 7 to 10 options for our residents to go, you know, I don't really feel like the lasagna for lunch. I just feel like a good greasy cheeseburger. We'll make that for you on the fly, no problem at all. And so we invest a significant amount of our food and time and energy and training into our kitchen program. We've replaced almost every major appliance in our kitchen at Oak Hills Care Center. We feel like we've got to give them the right equipment to produce the right quality of food. One of the things that we've had to do with COVID is we have to use warming carts, similar to what you would see like in a hospital setting, but we want to make sure the temperature is exactly what it should be when it leaves that kitchen to it arrives to our residents' room. So,
and I understand the importance of all that. I keep my food service operators license current all the time, just to make sure that, you know, I know what's going on.
And Jim, as an owner, I think what's hugely important when I come into a facility, which is often, I'm in my buildings a lot, one of the first places I go is the kitchen.
Sure.
And I look at that food and I go, if I'm not going to eat that, why would I expect any of our residents to eat that? And so they know if I'm walking, I'm going to want a tray. I want to see the temperature of the food. I want to see the quality of the food. I want the taste of the food. Is it good? I mean, and I know some of our residents have specialized diets, you know, low sodium or things like that. But at the same time, I want to know what our residents are eating. Sure. That's important. I think food is life. We know that, right?
Right.
And so we definitely want to make sure that it's an enjoyable experience for our residents.
That's right. And I know factually that so many communities do not emphasize the food. They sure don't have the, what do you call it, on the fly.
Right, yeah.
We'll fix you a burger if you don't want the lasagna.
That's right.
And they have a standard setup, take it or leave it, and that's not going to help people get nourishment and really enjoy their lives.
Right. And that's when you start experiencing things, when you start classifying people down into how many dollars per meal, how many dollars per day are we spending on the food program? I'll be honest, we don't look at that as much. I want to know what kind of quality that we're putting across the table.
Right.
You know, what kind of quality is coming out of that kitchen. We try to make ours more restaurant driven versus cafeteria driven.
Right.
And for us, I'm okay with spending that extra money because I think it's that important so that we maintain good healthy weights in our buildings.
Right.
We have good nutritional value in our buildings. And our residents are living a happy, best days of their life.
That's so important, and I'm like you too. Go to the kitchen when I first get there, and I tell my chef, I'm going to have to inspect that brownie.
That's exactly right. I need one of those. We're talking about food. I'm starving right now. Is it just me, or are you hungry too?
I'm ready. You had me at the yogurt and ice cream machine. So anyway, well, Brad, I want to thank you for being with us again today and touring us again and giving us all this valuable information, because that's the purpose of Baby Boomers in Action, is to share this information. We have a lot of baby boomer viewers, and it's their parents that they deal with in, you know, this adult age generation and retirement communities, assisted livings, skilled nursing home communities and all. And so this is the kind of information they're seeking. And one thing I know for sure is the thing that you have been able to emphasize and is your example of passion.
Well, thank you.
Because you have a great passion for what you do, and it's about your residents and your loved ones under the care of a staff that Brad also invests in. So I hope you remember all this. You needed to be recording this, and we'll replay it sometime in the future so you can record it. But we want to thank you for joining us today on Baby Boomers in Action. I am your host, Jim McWhorter. My co-host the last couple of weeks, Brad Underwood. Great job, Brad.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for the work you do. I mean, this is so informative and educational, and I can't thank you enough. You're welcome anytime at any of our facilities.
All right. Well, call me when the ice cream machine's here, and we'll all come and join you.
That's right.
We'll see you next week.